And this transition is an easy one, from bombshells to Bongino.
Bongino. Ooh, nice. Fox News contributor, former Secret Service agent, former NYPD officer, and host of the Dan Bongino Show, and author of many books, including Spygate, The Attempted Sabotage of Donald J. Trump. Thanks for joining us this morning, Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I really appreciate you guys having me on this.
Great to have you. So,
morning.
I'm guessing you've seen the latest phrase Democrats are using amid. Watch this mix of tape here.
We believe that no one is above the law, including the President of the United States, and we believe that the President of the United States is engaged in a cover-up.
The cover-up by this administration
prevent the president from continuing this ongoing cover-up.
His intention to cover up.
It's starting to look more like a cover-up. Innocent people don't act like the president.
It's a cover-up, Dan.
You know, I'm not a big Star Trek fan, but I do remember the Borg, right? Remember the Borg? They used to think with a hive mind. It was like one mind, and they all used it. This is the Democrats. They think with a hive mind. I wonder if they get a focus group together and they say, what lie can we invent this week that'll be most damaging and penetrating in the media? Let's say it's a cover-up. There it is, ding, ding, ding. And they all run out and run in front of the cameras and use it. But here's the takeaway from this that's important. Remember, and never forget this lesson. The Democrats always accuse you of what they are doing themselves. They are actually engaged in the biggest cover-up in American history right now that President Trump has ordered the declassification of materials related to a spying scandal where we know no less than 3 Trump team members were spied on by no less than 2 U.S. intelligence assets spying on them. That's the real cover-up.
You know, Dan, we have some hypocrisy rolling in from Adam Schiff. I know this will be shocking to you. First off, check out his tweet on Thursday saying while Trump stonewalls the public from learning the truth about his obstruction of justice, Trump and Barr conspired to weaponize law enforcement and classified information against their political enemies. The cover-up has entered a new and dangerous phase. This is un-American. Now, that's fine, but if you look back at December 17, 2016, we have another tweet from Adam Schiff, and it says this: President Obama can and must declassify as much as possible about Russia hacking our elections. Rest assured, Trump won't. Okay, so we live in a social media age now, Dan. Your stuff is out there. The hypocrisy is right there, written in his own words. How does he explain himself?
You know, it's saying a lot to say this because, the D.C. swamp, which is the swampiest up on Capitol Hill, and inside the House of Representatives, it's the swampiest of the swampiest in there. And this is the swampiest fraud inside of that group, Adam Schiff. In any sane, rational world, Adam Schiff would have already resigned in complete shame with his head down and pledged never to run for public office again, being that he has told us, don't forget this, for almost 2 years now, he has direct evidence of a crime we now know conclusively was a hoax, was entirely made up, collusion. Well, yeah. Schiff is a fraud. He has no principles, and those tweets are perfect examples of what Adam Schiff does. He's a liar.
Yeah, but Dan, so I pointed out a little earlier, we don't actually know what may be learned from this declassification. We'll find out. But, when you take a guy like Adam Schiff, who is the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, and he is against transparency, essentially, if you put those 2 tweets that Jed read together, isn't that the fundamental problem?
Well, you would think, and Griff, the even bigger problem as I see it, listen, Adam Schiff's going to do what benefits Adam Schiff and his political power, which involves being a fraud and not sticking to his principles. We get that. Nobody trusts politicians anyway. But the problem I have here, Griff, is where is the media on this? I mean, it's the Washington Post, isn't their tagline, democracy dies in the darkness? They are the darkness. They're the ones right now with the New York Times that are running cover for Brennan and others in the intelligence agencies that are leaking to the New York Times to get President Trump not to declassify information. I mean, think about what I'm telling you. Listen, I worship and respect freedom of the press, but they have the freedom to be stupid, too. And unfortunately, they've taken us up on the offer.
Yeah. Dan, it's because they're concerned that transparency will lead to a problem for Democrats as 2020 approaches. That leads to tougher questions for Joe Biden, potentially questions for President Obama, and it breaks down the barrier of this whole narrative that they've been running with for so long. Appreciate you being here, but that is what's going on.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.
Got it,
Thanks
guys.
so much.
Good talking to you.